So what is the difference between good debt and bad debt? Isn't all debt bad? Okay, let's break it down. Let's talk about it in today's training. Hey everyone, it's Mike Adams, and on this channel we empower individuals to achieve freedom through improved financial literacy and business ownership. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click subscribe, click the bell, so that way you get notified on any and all of our future content. So in today's training, guys, we're going to be talking about the difference here between good debt and bad debt, and if there's even a difference at all. It's a very, very good question that someone had asked on the channel, so I wanted to address it. And the bottom line is this, okay? There is a big time difference between good debt and bad debt. So let's go ahead and define the two, so that way we know exactly what we're talking about here. And the easy side is bad debt. Okay, what is bad debt? Well, simply put, okay, any debt that you've accumulated that goes towards buying liabilities, okay, and things that cost you money or don't make you money, right? If you are racking up debt, okay, to pick up liabilities, okay, that is bad debt. Okay, so an example would be, let's say I take my credit card and I go ahead and buy a big screen TV, and I buy it over at Best Buy, if they're still in business, but I go buy it at Best Buy, and I use my Best Buy store credit card that's charging 22% interest, but I want that big screen TV so bad, I just gotta go get it, and I swipe for it, and I'm gonna make the $40 a month minimum payment for the next 15 years to pay it off, right? That's a bad debt, okay? Because again, that TV is not gonna make you any money. If anything, it's going to cost you money. Number one, you're paying for it. Number two, the interest on that card. And number three, the fact that you're sitting on the couch watching more TV. Okay, so definitely bad debt. And that really goes for any of the doodads or gizmos or gadgets, or really just things that we waste our money on every single month that we don't need. Okay, again, if that money's going towards something that's not making you money, it is a liability. Okay, you need to identify that as something that maybe can be eliminated from your expenses altogether. But regardless, for most folks, that are here, we're trying to get out of debt. We got into debt somehow. Some of it was taking on some good debt, okay, but a lot of times we're taking on some bad debt as well. So you need to be able to identify when you're accumulating bad debt. Give yourself that mental swat on the wrist, to stop accumulating that bad debt, okay? Now, it is okay to accumulate some debt, okay? And let's say now we're talking about what would be a good debt, okay? And so what is good debt? Okay, good debt is something that creates additional income for you. And what we're really looking for is positive cash flow, okay? So an example of good debt would be a rental property. Let's say you had a single family property that you don't live in, and let's say this property is a $200,000 home, okay? So now you have this debt, okay, this $200,000 debt on this rental property, okay? But let's say, okay, in this market, you're able to put a renter in this property, or maybe you're able to set up and structure a lease option where they're able to go ahead and pay you about $2,000 per month in rent, okay, on this $200,000 property. And after all the expenses of the property, we are gonna see some positive cash flow here. Approximately on this property, we'd say about $400 to $600 per month approximately in cash flow on this particular property. Okay, so in this scenario, yes, we have $200,000 worth of debt here, but this debt is actually creating you a positive cash flow of between $400 and $600 on this single family rental property. So that's a scenario where, okay, if you're in a situation where you don't have any bad debt, okay, now you have these lines of credit available and you're looking to take on some debt, okay? You could take on some good debt. You can, in the form of, let's say, a rental property, you're taking on good debt that's actually an asset for you because now it's making you money. It's creating positive cash flow. And as we know, folks, real estate is, of course, the ideal investment. You can generate income with your rental properties, of course. D is you can depreciate the property. So this is a tax deduction that you get for owning rental properties. E is the equity creation. So every month you got that renter in there making a rent payment that's knocking down the principal balance that's owed on that rental property, creating the equity that you own and control since you own the property. A is for appreciation. So typically and historically, real estate always goes up in value. You know, there's little dips and dips, but over time it goes up in value. So you're going to get that appreciation. And the L stands for leverage. Because of the fact that it is real property. As you accumulate equity in that property, you can then leverage that equity to go out there and potentially get your hands on additional, cash flowing property, or go out there and use that leverage to acquire more additional good debt, or again, additional assets that create you more positive cash flow. So again, that's the difference between bad debt and good debt. Again, bad debt is just dead debt. It's buying a big screen TV on a credit card. Okay, that's bad debt. It wastes your time, it wastes your money, it costs you money. Okay, if you use leverage to accumulate and buy good debt, okay, and again, good debt is assets, things that make you money. If you got rental properties, and the only good debt is debt that actually makes you money, because it's debt that you picked up to acquire an asset that creates you positive cash flow. So if you found value in this training, guys, make sure to give it a like, give it a comment below. I will see you guys in the next training.